Hello, and thank you for joining us for the Academy playoffs as we start them here today, this week. It's Golden Guardians versus Counter Logic Gaming, and Golden Guardians is now bringing us to game point as we head into game 4. We went 1-1 and a sub 30-minute win for game 3 here, Joshi, as we're about to break down the last game before we get into 4. What a game coming in from Hard. He absolutely came out so strong, and they were saying they picked up that Graves and the Thresh again in the first round, which they won so dominantly with in game 1 as well.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that Golden Guardians are showing us multiple ways that they can actually play the game, whereas CLG still looking to answer that question if they can do things other than this front-to-back team fight, depending on who leads it. Deus did have a fantastic game too, but this time, I almost forgot he was here. Almost nothing happened up in the top lane the entire time, where instead we're able to see Graves really pop off, really take control of everything, and we're going to have a couple opportunities to highlight a few of the ways that he actually does this here in just a moment. Always there to counter gank, always there to make sure that Froggus doesn't have a whole lot of opportunities. And you said in the middle of the game, wow, that felt like deja vu because it happened multiple times as Froggus. Right here, it gets a little bit antsy, and this is where we were thinking, it's like, oh, maybe CLG's got a pretty good way to come through this game. They just got a couple of kills onto Wind with this easy piercing light, but it was kind of almost a last gasp, if you were.
Yeah, and I like this play out of CLG as well because they did lose one. They moved on what Hard was doing early. Hard was all in the face of Froggus, took his red, double scuttled, got around, and then they were like, we need to go bot now. We need to do something immediately. So they get to the bot side, and they make that happen, and then you kind of see the game start to change a little bit more because Hard created so much pressure, and then a Blaze Olive comes into the picture, and he starts getting his hands into the pie and working the opponents around on the Azir.
Yeah, and we see this play, or what feels like the same play happen a couple of times. The Blaze Olive goes in, knocks back Tuesday on the Orianna. Froggus comes in, tries to do something, but unfortunately just doesn't have the damage due to some early misplays. And now, again, Hard just running around, able to get so much damage through. Gives them another dragon, gives them more time, and here we're going to see what feels like the exact same play again.
Oh my god.
3 members of Golden Guardians.
But they go back in.
Yeah, here we go. I mean, there you go. Blaze Olive just jumps in. Stream and Shuffle. Tuesday's back in the middle. The Shockwave is potentially available, but it doesn't matter. They're able to put down enough damage onto the Orianna. Froggus tries to do a little bit of something, and then just off the replay, you don't see it, but Phil is like, oh, wait, I think I can. Ends up using his flash and doesn't get anything for it.
And we were saying all around the map as well was able to participate in this game, and even the bot side was continuing to get into the action. We saw constant fights, constant strength then throughout the mid game as well. But over and over, Keith and Win, you can expect the fights, and you can expect more people to join. It was fun to watch.
Yeah, and I didn't realize when this play happened that Keith hit 6 off of the middle of this. They end up finding Wind, and I was kind of hoping that after the double kill, this Lucian would be a little bit more impactful in the mid game, but just with no jungle support, no mid lane support, very difficult to be an 80 carry all by your lonesome here in 2020, and we see more opportunities for Wind to potentially find things, find some aggressive plays, but it's just not quite enough. As Hard, very, very strong in this game, able to just run down multiple players.
Yeah, this is a great play coming out of Golden Guardians here. They were able to make some moves, able to kind of thwart what just happened a few plays earlier and say, okay, we leveled out the playing field there. Then they catapulted to a 4, 5, 6,000, 11,000 gold lead, and they started to just collapse onto onto CLG. Now, as we look at our next game, CLG choose red side, no subs as well coming into game 4, so it looks like we're going to keep everything the same, at least as players, but now CLG on red side, the counter pick comes in. It has seemed to be the thing that you need in this series.
Yeah, we'll see what it is that they're going to be giving Deus. I mean, they've shown they're able to play through him. Otherwise, the rest of the team has been playing solid League of Legends, but not necessarily going to be making these big plays on their own. I mean, if anybody knows me, if you've been following me, you know I watch a lot of LJL. It's one of my favorite leagues and something I have in common with Vedius. And you definitely look at CLG Academy as kind of reminiscent of another team in LJL called Burning Core, where they don't do anything particularly exciting. They don't do anything particularly flashy, but they play good, solid League of Legends. They play the way you're supposed to play, that the Koreans developed a long time ago, and it does lead to a very consistent playstyle, which is why they're 9-9. It's why they took a game off of Golden Guardians, who are a much higher variance team, because sometimes when you're doing exciting things, sometimes they work out great and you pop off and you destroy the game like we just saw, and other times they're like, oh, well, that messed up and now we're behind, and CLG able to bring that through pretty solidly. So we'll see which version of the game we're going to get.
Yeah, right. We'll see if that coin flips back, because it should be the other side of that for CLG, one and the other. If things work out the way they should, maybe we don't put too many more games in there, and that we'll get it. We'll see what they have for this game. A lot of unique picks is what we talked about before for them. Seeing a few on the bot, seeing one for Wind there, and then a few across the map, as we did have one in the mid lane for Tuesday. I can't remember which one it was now, though. The Orianna. Was it?
Yeah, it's such a weird thing. No, Orianna has been played a lot by Tuesday. What did he play? He played the Azir for the first time.
Azir, thank you. Yeah, I'm looking. I'm like, Ori is at number 6. Why did that word come out of my mouth? It's like you're looking at the board, and instead of writing your name, you write name. That's what I just did. I said what I was looking at, and I didn't even want to. We're getting to pick some bands here, seeing a few of the same as well. And that Nidalee to be the last here to keep hard off. Or maybe the Graves now, and they see if they can toy with the Nidalee. But then the Nidalee brings into this healing composition that you hate to deal with in the fights that are long already. So
yeah, double heals is not fun to play against, and I don't know. I mean, Hard has been showing an ability to play a number of different champions. I don't think that's going to be first pick, blind pick here. Essentially showing too much of your hand, but with the Caitlyn band, Ashe has been this premier AD carry. I wonder if Wind then is going to be playing one of his more favorite ADCs in the Jhin, but instead, at least for now, we're seeing the Senna and the Azir come through for CLG, which does give them a pretty powerful backline to play to later in the game.
The Golden Guardians comes out of this one. I wonder. You have 100 Thieves GG. And it depends on how that game goes. You know, who is Cloud9 picking? Are you picking 100 Thieves GG, or are you going to pick this Golden Guardian squad if they're playing that strong? But then again, if CLG comes back, like, top 1-2 teams, man. I guess just the one team. I got to pick who they play against.
Yeah, there's a lot of
really thinking now.
Definitely things from both teams you can potentially try and prey on. You can try and bait Golden Guardians into these hypey plays that end up going wrong, or if you're the ones who think that you can beat CLG at a very patient game, then why not do that right on back, as we see some variants potentially coming out. Yes! Gonna be locking in that Blitzcrank.
That's what we need. Flip the cards, flip the tables, everything. Flip it. See on the flip side. Let's see what this can do. Phil bringing in the Blitzcrank. The Tryndamere still gets banned. I'm just so excited right now. I can't forgot word. 15 seconds on the clock here. Final bans in from Golden Guardians. We did see Blitz in this spot for Golden Guardians before, so CLG gets to slip that one under their noses.
Ooh, I'm going to see a lot of top lane bans I have to expect coming through. I wouldn't be surprised if Golden Guardians rounds it out with an Ornn ban. We did talk about the fact that CLG now has at least one form of pick/engage coming through from the Blitzcrank hook, but they are still missing a way to get a ton of people reliably caught out that doesn't risk your mid laner to potentially dying. I know Shreem and Shuffle is very cool and does a lot of really big important things, but if it goes wrong, and if you don't catch as many people as you expect, Tuesday can get blown up very, very quickly by the members of Golden Guardians. The Echo gets banned away.
What if it's Blitz mid?
Oh, I know some people who would be very excited about that one.
Yeah,
don't get their hopes
remember
up.
That was actually a thing for a bit? Not really much in pro play, but people were definitely playing Blitz mid for the fun of it.
I mean, I love doing that when the Hextech protocol came out.
You still can if you, yeah, right, exactly, that timing. Olaf gets taken away from Fragus. Hard still has his Graves, and they still have the Thresh. This is exactly what they have in these compositions. And now it gets paired again with the Ashe, so they're just going back to what they had in game 1 now, or game 3 on blue side.
Yeah,
from what they had last game on red.
I'm kind of thinking what a Blaze Olive wants to potentially pick here, because he wants to be shoving pretty aggressively so far as, okay, we do see the Vi coming out once again for Froggus, and we might see something similar, and if a Blaze Olive can get a lot of priority in the mid lane, then this could very easily go in favor of Hard once again. You already got the 2 marksmen. Blaze Olive has played a Karma game, which would get a lot of priority in the mid game, and also make your marksman very powerful, but I don't feel like that's the way they want to play, and that is not what I was expecting to be coming now from Golden Guardians.
The Akali gets locked in. So you want to push back against the Azir, something that CLG was missing last game, and one of the reasons why Froggus was so torn apart by Hard is because there was no mid pressure as Graves came into the jungle. Now, Azir pushes up a little bit, tries to get in there, but Akali's going to push back. Those blades just quickly clearing out minions and being aggressive.
Yeah, the Gangplank also picked up for Zion Spartan, his most played champion so far throughout the summer split, and it kind of dares the Ornn pick to come through, but no, we're seeing a carry battle up in the top lane.
Let's go.
Ready to throw it down. I'm excited for this game. It's going to be particularly scrappy compared to some of the games that we've seen previously, and those kind of have been going in favor of Golden Guardians so far. So we'll see if they are able to pick it up this time.
He's leaving the blitz mid. Oh.
You're believing a little bit hard there, Riv.
I know. They still have 14 seconds. Just writing down what they have so I can continue to look at it in position. Azir, Senna blitz. I'm excited for this. As a play-by-play, this is one of my favorite things to see, is that champions that you have to make plays on. Now that sounds like a silly statement because you're like, Riv, you have to make plays on every champion. But you don't have to flash in Tides of Blood, Pool, Hemo Plague, while Vi's Vault Breaker and Assault and Battery and try. That's what I like. This is a dogpile composition, as they have to get into these fights from both sides. And it forces both teams to test each other each time. You cannot pussyfoot around. You can't do anything else but fight. And I love it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see both these teams just slam head-to-head. We got a pretty big slam jam coming through, and I think it's going to be interesting to pay attention to how Blaze Olive actually plays on this Akali, because it's not a champion he's played so far this split. I mean, it is a champion that every mid laner and just about every top laner has had to put in some time, so he brings it out when they're on match point, and I feel like this is a big confidence pick coming through for a Blaze Olive, just because it's something that wasn't necessarily expected coming out from their opponents. They just have it deep in their pockets, so they can always bring it out and potentially snowball this game through the incredible skirmishing power that it does bring to the table.
And you have to think how that feels for somebody to put such a priority pick, carry pick on the, I should say, coming into these games, knowing you are going to be the one to have to do it. Maybe you take a word from Golden Glue that says, I knew I had to murder him. I knew it had to be me, right? We'll see what happens here coming into this one, if they can reflect that inner Golden Glue. We're stepping away right now to build a little bit of delay here coming into Game 4, but Golden Guardians on game point. Can they do it against Counterlogic Gaming Academy? We'll be right back. What's going on, everyone? We are back. It's Riv and Joshi, aka Minijet, hanging out with me here as we do the playoffs for Academy. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I don't know. How tall is Jet? I'm not that small.
I think he's slightly taller than me.
Oh,
I don't want to give away
I'm
his
definitely Mini Jet.
confirmed height because I don't know what kind of Google searches people can do these days. Be like, oh, he's that tall? I know where he
He's
lives.
at least 7 foot tall last time I saw.
Yeah, exactly. 7 foot tall, it grows to 8 feet when he hits first place. Lightning bolts, all that whole 9 yards. Yeah. Anyway, this game right here, Golden Guardians versus Counterlogic Gaming Academy, now going into game point for Golden Guardians. This is sole point. Right here, they have built up their objectives, they've done what they needed to do, and they are ready to take this series. But Counterlogic Gaming came out so strong in Game 2, you wonder if they can find that again to get a win for themselves.
Yeah, and I mean, both teams are really coming out swinging for this game. I'm excited to see how they end up skirmishing around. Now, this time, there's not as much priority that's going to be coming out from the Akali as what we saw from the Azir. So the rough jungle matchup of the Graves into the Vi isn't exacerbated by the fact that the mid laner can roam with you. But that doesn't make the jungle matchup itself any easier. If Hard comes across Froggus in isolation during the game, they're still going to be able to go for this fight as we load onto the Rift for potentially our last game of the day.
Oh boy, the Akali is locked in by a Blaze Olive. Looking around, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What did he have? 4. He has 8 right now, so this is 9 for him. Okay, so he flexes out to 9 unique as well. We all know these players have played the probably entire lineup of champions in their time. What was your 1 to 30, as they call them? What was kind of that initial champion for you, Josh?
Oh, for me, my very first champion that I ever ended up playing was Darius. And so after that,
I'm sorry.
Because I didn't have the 6300 IP necessary at the time, I ended up playing Garen for a long time when I first started playing. I bought Twisted Fate and was like, nope, this champion's hard. Ended up refunding that very quickly.
Ah, interesting, interesting. Mine, so my first one was Garen, that my friends told me to play, because I think it was free that weekend. And then after my first few games, I bought Kennen, and that was my 1 to 30. That was it.
Oh,
that
there you go.
was
Kennen's fun.
It. He is. He very much is. Blaze Olive didn't play much of Kali or Azir, but I love watching the pros do it right here. Teleport versus teleport, Comet versus Fleet. So a bit of healing as a Blaze Olive wants to tuck in and out of these aggressive soldiers. And Hard does get help to start on this one. Usually did not.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Jungle starts to steal, and we'll see how this plays out.
It's going to be interesting to see how Froggus chooses to get over to this red buff. He's going to hop the wall with the Q. I like it, mixing it up a little bit. Does mean that he will be able to get to Hard if they do find each other in the jungle. But now Hard pushing through Tuesday.
Low.
Oh, okay.
End of the line is back here if you want to come back here. It's over here. Just missing on Tuesday.
Uh-oh.
Gets the hook, pulled in off of his hook, so he can't really get the full crowd control there. Locked in as he pulls himself to win. And now Keith is going to get hit. Frag is coming around. Does he have another Q? As he comes up, he has to get the flash, then the Q, the tag, the red buff. Oh, it's not enough. Oh, my word. The slivers of health, the kills, the supports with the kill shares. And another one for win. Don't you dare take that. Oh, my word. Chime with the kill share.
Oh, no. This is another disaster coming out, Riv. I like the play a lot. I liked the idea. You go down, you end up having this fight, but Froggus, I don't know where he used his Q as he was coming over, but he's clearly on cooldown.
Oh my god, Chime, you're a beast.
Oh, man.
Oh, wait!
Auto attack back. The minions are doing a lot of damage.
Do it! Oh, he doesn't have flash. Oh my god, Chime is stepping up. He's got 150 gold bounty 3 minutes into the game and almost killed Phil by himself just now, forcing a flash. Let's do the time warp again.
Yeah, here we go. Now I gotta pay attention. This fight kind of goes back and forth. Both sides do a good job focusing the ADC, but when Wind goes invisible, look, Froggus coming all the way around here. You'd expect this Vi to be charging a Q, but it's not up. Finally comes up, tries to get onto Keith, but doesn't get enough, takes a turret shot, and now Hard able to just come on in. They find another hook onto Wind, who had already used a flash, and there you go. Another kill share coming through for Chime, and he's going to be able to walk back into lane with double buffs and a lead with the AD carry and duo. So it's going to be very scary for Wind and Phil to try and walk up into this lane for a little while. This is bad.
Just absolutely making it happen. Chime coming up with the kills, feeling good. Almost getting solos. And yeah, maybe he gets Zerker Grease and keeps going. Get some damage in there. Attack speed.
Stormrazor Thresh. I'm sure you remember that.
Stormrazor Thresh. Absolutely,
All
baby.
right. There's a small window here. Deus, though, has been doing quite well up against Zion Spartan. Hard goes through. I mean, not a particularly strong Vladimir at this point, but the transfusion does come through, and Hard is discouraged. I don't know how helpful this actually was to Zion Spartan. I guess it allows him to build this freeze up more effectively for a potential regank and takes a lot of HP away. But, I mean, guys, this is Vladimir. He is not a vampire, a Hemomancer. So,
Blood Mage.
Just fine.
If anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also until 9, you're kind of just buying your time. Your Q feels bad, you're running around. Yeah, you can heal, but you don't heal immensely, so you just have to keep waiting for a cooldown, maybe some Kindle Gems and whatnot on the way up. Tuesday, getting some wards down toward the bot side. He can play towards his jungler now, who's going for Ocean. Counter Logic Gaming back to being able to control these, and Golden Guardians has really had Herald control, so we'll keep an eye on that as it's going to be in the next 2.5 minutes. And an eye on CLG pushing bot so they can help out Frackus. Little Broman here over at the Ocean Drake.
Yeah, very wholesome overall. They do pick it up, which is going to slow down a potential Golden Guardian snowball. And that's kind of one of those things, again, nothing in League of Legends is going to be coming for free. Hard going up to the top lane, messing around with Deus, is going to be traded for the Ocean Dragon, but we do see that Zion Spartan has picked up enough of the CS to actually have a lead once again, was able to back away and get a Cole, so Bankplank once again making a little bit of an appearance, and now that he's level 6, he has map presence everywhere he goes. Pew!
Well, Hard, I love you right now. He's just trolling on through. I mean, they're going to get some map pressure here and make sure they're going top. They can do whatever they want as they start to move from here. The power of Hard and a Blaze Olive on a roam just cannot be matched at this point. And Deus does have 6. This might force out his Sanguine Pool as he gets a quick Hemo Plague out. Pool goes down, that's 20% of his HP. Shots are flying, the heal comes through, and he comes out of Pool. As soon as he comes out, the heals come through from Hemo Plague and his Q. Oh my word. Deus, that was gross, and again, he puts some of the ganks on his back by absorbing these plays of Golden Guardians. We saw it in Game 2, and he's going to try to do it in Game 3. Already back to the fight.
They gave him a blue buff Riv. He's got 30% cooldown reduction just out of nowhere. He might not give a full. He probably has a full.
You got
40.
Kindle now.
Yeah.
Yep.
He might have a full 40% cooldown reduction already. And this is a very tough spot to be Zion Spartan for a little while because you were really hoping that that was going to go well, but Hard doesn't have a whole lot of damage. Turns out you can't auto-attack people when they're invulnerable, and he doesn't actually contribute a whole lot to that dive whatsoever. Still level 5, and now Froggus is going to be the jungler with a whole lot more map pressure. He's getting close to level 6, and we already talked about how effective that can be. You got to be careful for a Blaze Olive, because you can't dodge away from the Froggus ultimate. Yeah.
Zion setting up some barrels. It should be good.
Yeah. Oh, I wonder if they go top lane here. Deus doesn't have his ultimate, but he's got plenty of damage.
Always feels good when you hit him with a Crimson Rush. You just feel like a giant Vlad at that point. Building it up again, should run this rush right into him. A big Q, and he's got to use it on a minion as that comes through. So we'll see this play once again for Deus. How he plays it out, and honestly, I thought that last 20% from his W would put him in a place where he dies. But he comes out of it as soon as Hemo Play gives him the health back. Oh.
Tragedy. It was good. It really well played by Deus overall to actually survive that dive, but it still is one of those things where we've seen a couple tragedies coming out for CLG. This time they're coming out for Golden Guardians, and now they're jumping on a Tuesday, but he's just going to run on out, and now Hard still down about 3 camps compared to his jungle opponent, and that's not a good spot for this Graves to be. He's a character that really likes being ahead, really likes being able to be aggressive, and now, oh, Blaze Olive is gonna get jumped on.
That's one shot. The CC's there. Goes Shroud, who they've chosen perfectly, but Chime Time comes through with a dark passage to the light. He is everywhere. Look at those early Moby boots. Really setting him up to help the team across the map. Hawkshot's going to come through and reveal a few members and show that CLG's doing the Herald. Remember, I said Golden Guardians had good control over this. CLG's got the Ocean Drake. Now they're able to toy with a few more objectives here, as there's no poke on the side of Golden Guardians. That Nidalee was banned out. Something that CLG knows Golden Guardians good at setting up that. So if CLG can get there first, create their own hype in the fight, take down Chime, get that refresh on the gold. That's the bounty over to Fraggus. Tuesday could get a kill going on to him here as he draws a Blaze Olive back with that ultimate coming through, and he baits him in even further for Fraggus' double kill.
Yeah, wow, looking good for CLG. One of the things that we haven't talked about, which we'll point out more in the replay, is how difficult all of these shorter range characters are going to have dealing with this Azir, who is such a long-range mage. He's able to be very aggressive just because he knows nobody can get on top of him. And we'll have another opportunity to look at that in just a moment. But now, Zion Spartan might be getting jumped on. There is a Blitzcrank here. Pew!
Going for some of the minions to push the wave. He knows he's dead. He's buying time. And man, team can't do much around the map. This is going to be 14 seconds for Mountain. Counter Logic Gaming is setting themselves up so well right now, as Golden Guardians is trying to get ahead of that play right now by setting up vision.
Yeah, they're going to be trying to take away this blue buff, but they got to be careful. I don't know if Art has 1 or 2 smites, but he does commit a smite here, so he will have a second smite coming up in just a moment. And seeing Froggus on the top side of the map, they are going to be able to pick up a dragon here. Yeah, should be a-okay, but I just also want to point out the fact that Chime is level 5 at the moment, and we saw him run by Tuesday, who is currently level 9, which is a bit surprising to me that he is behind experience compared to Phil as well, simply because he was able to pick up a couple of kills. You see that they are up in CS, and potentially a bit of a worrisome trend coming out as they try and get a little bit of damage back onto this bottom lane turret, but they are still down 1,500 gold with a composition that really relies on being ahead in the mid game in order to make plays.
Yeah, should have 6 soon. We get those Moby boots early and you feel like your job becomes so much more, and you're doing different things early. While we saw him walk away from lane to grab a Blaze Olive from a play, there was a few minions involved in that, so a few of those situations when he has not been able to get the minions.
Yeah,
so here, Fraggus picking up some bounty.
Yeah, watch Tuesday here, because Blaze Olive has to go in so deep. The Emperor's Divide comes through and creates a lot of space for the rest of the members, but look at how deep a Blaze Olive has to commit. And you have to remember that a number of the other characters, Gangplank and Graves, are going to struggle to get that deep. And speaking of, they're getting caught.
Zion gets hit, but you can take that shot once. He's not afraid of Fraggus just yet, especially if an orange comes out fast. Tuesday's there to help him out, but they will all return to their lanes. 102 to 84 on that top side. 2-0-1 for Deus, as he has just been able to reap the rewards of his early game play, where he absorbed a 3-man gank and came out with a kill. And now Tuesday is just going to hold tight in mid, hopefully get a blue buff coming up here soon for him. And everybody's just about resetting as we see GG and their bot lane backing.
Yeah. Nice ward from Phil. Cool little trick, just being able to put it over that wall. Not super impactful, just, you know, well done. It's just the small things, you know?
Kick him!
Kick him.
Almost. Well, that's one of my favorite things, is watching Kali do the kickflip. You just tag somebody and you fly across the map.
Oh, yeah.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Also, Blaze Olive, just the aggression he can put out on this champion, I think plays very well to his play style. Chime already here sitting in the back thinking, hey, yeah, you're a little low. I have time to hang out, and with these Moby boots roam. But again, missing a bit of that CS. He's happy to be 6 now, though. And Tuesday thought about walking forward.
Thought about it. Not going to commit to it, though. I mean, he's still 4 levels down. Chime is going to blow up if he ends up getting caught in the death sentence. You know, trying to catch out Tuesday, not quite enough. But we do have turret platings going down. The gold kind of returning to normalcy, as we do see only 1,000 gold in favor of CLG at the moment, but they're pretty happy to let this game go late as I find a pull.
Keith should be all right on the slow. Quick flay to deter more damage.
Oh, no.
The hook was there.
No.
Did he think he was behind the minion? Those were not his. And it's Win going down immediately as he was on the front line casting abilities. Deus now comes in. Pool's still there as he gets a good heal to come back. That was this Hemo Plague, so his ult is down. Golden Guardians can kind of ball together now and not be too worried. Blaze Olive taking a secondary ult strike towards the brush to see if he finds anybody. And they do no. Oh no! Zion Spartan with a quick flash, faster than the power fist coming out of Phil's Blitzcrank. And man, fast fingers all around here from both teams. Who's going to make it out alive though? Fraggus dodging, or rather queuing in as Blaze Olive dodges. And this fight is going to fizzle out.
Yeah,
No wonder they want the healers out of these fights. They last forever.
I'm impressed that that only was 1 kill getting picked up by Golden Guardians, because the number of people that teleported into that fight was damn near everybody. I think Tuesday was the only one who didn't. Good flash from Blaze Olive, also good flash from Zion previously.
Yeah.
But Blaze Olive missed one crucial ability with the kickflip onto Deus, not going to be able to follow him and potentially find any execute damage. But you saw like how many people they committed to trying to jump on the Vladimir, and he's a slippery little blood mage around here, and without a whole lot of crowd control, it's tough to lock him down for extended periods of time. But 1 kill is still helpful. You are still getting gold into your pockets. You are still making your character stronger, and Keith can do a lot of work just because he's got that volley to keep a lot of people at bay, and of course the arrow allows you to get a lot of these fights started relatively quickly. But we'll see if they can manufacture another pick, another opportunity to fight, because the next dragon is spawning in only 30 seconds, as it's the first potentially towards a Cloud Soul. Oh, here we go.
Goes on and pushes back. Oh, they baited a Blaze Olive so hard right there. The hook comes out, a nice dodge by Fraggus, and Tuesday was just letting himself take damage, letting that minion wave be cleared, and then just kicked the Blaze Olive right back to the waiting arms of Fraggus.
Yeah, oh, Phil, not quite going to find the hook, but this is big. They still have all of their members alive, and now Tuesday can go ahead and reset on the map. He's got his teleport available, whereas a Blaze Olive does not, which is going to allow them to pick up this Cloud Dragon, get a little bit closer to the end of the game. And ultimately, I mean, the Cloud Soul, not something that a lot of people are particularly excited about a lot of the time, but the extra movement speed and that it gives to Vladimir in particular is actually insane as Tuesday comes back.
He feels like he's got to go fast.
Zoom.
Not the belt for him. He doesn't need to clear that distance in a quick gap closer, but more of just screaming and running at his opponents. What a stop on the Vault Breaker coming in from Fragus's buy with that death sentence. And it looks like they may be able to get Deus down. Huge heal coming in for him on the Hemo Plague and a Q as they're trying to get themselves in and out for the fight. That's the ult coming in from Zion Spartan that spreads CLG into the river. And Deus will be able to join them. Oh my word, Joshi. Nobody wants to go down to give up too much ground. Tuesday's going to be healthy enough to go mid. This Ocean Drake doing oh so little, but just enough to help CLG out a bit.
Yeah, did you see that health coming back to Deus
Yes.
at the very end of that fight? He was like 100 HP and it instantly goes up to 60%. And Vladimir is absolutely nuts when he's ahead. He's got the Spellbinder, he's able to heal up off of all of these members, and even though we're starting to see some grievous wounds coming through on Zion Spartan and Hard, it's difficult when he heals so much. It feels like he's going to be healing for an insane amount anyway, even though that's only half of what he could have been healing for.
I mean, if he's doing that, you need a Blaze Olive alive. You need Zion to be nailing a parlay that literally is halving people and have him be alive. Otherwise, Deus gets hit, he uses Q, he's back in, Crimson Rush comes up, and then nobody kills him. It's going to be tough. I mean, it's all easier said than done. CLG still has to find these windows to fight in. And it looks like the game is pretty even, all things considered here. The fight's really not going anybody's way. Turret's only getting chipped after the fights. And even I think if these fights actually come to an end, nobody's going to be up to even do anything. Rift Herald might be our next objective here, as a bit of a wave advantage on top that Golden Guardians have to worry about. So CLG do have some room to work with.
Yeah, oh, finding Deus. That's the stuns.
That's a lot of stuns for the ground they had on him, but you will not let a Vlad get away, and that's how you do it. Mid lane could get pushed here. Quick transition from CLG. they're going to choose to go the far way around, and this damage should be about 5
Or
to...
are
Nope,
they?
none. Yeah, I was going to say they have demolished there and everything, and CLG says, no, let's take the inside lane. We're going for the fight. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
I mean, they saw Zion and Ablaze Olive in the side lanes. They know there's no teleports available just quite yet, so they knew they could be aggressive in this spot. And they did just that. They pick up the Herald, which is, again, interesting. We started the day talking about how focused Golden Guardians is on picking up these Heralds, and they've been able to pick up almost all of them throughout this series, but in this game, they've lost 2 of them. And it could be an opportunity here for CLG to continue playing that very straightforward style of League of Legends, knock down the mid lane turret, start looking for pick opportunities, and maybe having opportunities to fight coming up fairly soon.
Looking at the bot lanes here again, something that's just come up so strong in the last 2 games. There's a lot of focus towards bot. Frackus stepping up this game. Got to throw respect out there as he has been having a bit of trouble finding a groove if the team wasn't, and he's definitely a window the team can play through now. But back to bot. Keith, 202 on this Ashe again, combined with the Thresh. Loving the Thresh and Graves on the side of Golden Guardian since they've picked it so many times. It's something that they feel comfortable with in the composition. And it's shutting down the Senna Blitz. The farming Senna this time, not the fasting Senna. So CLG's damage is really falling on Tuesday, really falling on Deus here as we start to get into the late game, because that's also a tanky buy.
It really is, and I think they've definitely got enough damage sources to really play with. One of the cool things, I do want to touch on Wynn's build a little bit, since it is a less popular build coming out for Senna, but the Muramana plus the Black Cleaver, often followed by Rapid Fire Cannon and or a Youmuu's Ghost Blade. There's a couple divers that you got to be careful with between the Akali and the Graves as the arrow goes wide. And the 2 basic ways to deal with divers and survive them as marksmen is 1, you stay out of their range, or 2, you get really tanky by building a ton of HP items like the Frozen Mallet and the Black Cleaver. But this time, what this is saying to me is instead he's going to try and stay at range of them pretty consistently. He's already got the boots 3, so he's got a ton of movement speed. Black Cleaver improves that. The Rapid Fire Cannon improves that. And you're able to play from such a long range with so much movement speed that's very difficult for these divers to actually stick to you. So I like what Wynn's doing. He's definitely adapting to the game, and you can't do damage when you're dead. So he's going to stay alive as long as possible.
Be interested to see if anybody starts building a locket here. And you basically take Deus's ult out of the game, right? Super efficient against this composition as they try to come in with little bits of poke damage. I was going to say Phil's ultimate, but never mind that. The change to ultimates and shields. Don't mind me. Frackus going over to the objective site, though. He will get this Drake, and this will put them on soul point on the side of Chronologic Gaming. There's something that's always funny to me is Vladimir, the turret. He's like one of the slowest turret takers alive. Always has been. It's funny to watch.
Yeah, but he also eats you alive under the turret. Like
If you're there though, easy. And then he's just like splash.
I don't care about this turret.
It's like throwing cups of water.
Grape juice.
Grape juice.
I suppose.
A little more viscosity.
That was a better red drink. Tomato juice.
Yeah, that's good. There you go. Little V8.
There you go. Here we go. Potentially.
Whoa, no! I call that the 16th sense. When you accidentally do something. And then that right there, that's just beautiful gameplay. The hook coming out predicts the overdrive to the other side here from Phil as he zooms around on his eye blitzcrank. And where are they going to go out of this? Frackus up red. I want to see a fight that actually comes to an end, Joshi. I was building this and hyping it up, saying you cannot make these fights happen without going all in. Well, that's true, but nobody's staying in the all in. It's like dog pile, and then they get up real quick, and they're like, all right, who's hurt? Can we go back in? Can we do it again? Nobody's staying in there for the finalized kills.
Who gets it? Blitzcrank gets it. They get Blitzcrank.
Want this?
Not enough.
Not everybody can get over there.
I was right there with you, Riv. I was looking to see all of these big skirmishes, all of these fights, but the fights that we have seen, most people have been living from, which is boring. But realistically, I mean, this is towards the end of playoffs, right? Both teams recognize that they're on game point. They tend not to be particularly over-ambitious with the plays that they're looking to make. They want to make sure that they only take very smart fights, and that's why we're seeing this game getting a little bit slower than what we're used to. Now that said, we're also coming up on the point of the game where Baron is a serious threat for both teams to potentially do. You've got double marksman and a gangplank on the side of Golden Guardians, and you have an Azir coming out on the side of CLG. So both teams do it reasonably quickly, and so far CLG, with their smart, steady play, have been doing a better job of making sure that they have vision control over the top side of the river. So, not saying it's going to happen, but it's definitely an opportunity for CLG to potentially try and sneak away this objective underneath the noses of Golden Guardians.
See where they decide to move to here, coming out of base. Refreshing a few members, getting some items. Just that Lost Chapter and Blasting Wand here. Full items coming in on the side of a Blaze Olive. And just assists for Tuesday. I guess. Not that much. Turrets they've been able to drop, though, definitely helping. Is hard, gets caught up. Zion Spartan just chasing Deus. He's saying, pay attention to me, man. Hard there, getting himself out alive. Hemo Play going to take him down for the Senna ult. Almost does. They get a few shields on the CLG members. Good flash of Blaze Olive and Hard now alive as CLG is really starting to stomp these fights. Deus is going to quickly heal back up, and you said it, Joshi. It's going to be about the Baron, who's going to be able to tempt it first.
Yeah, here we see Zion Spartan does have his teleport available. He did use his ult, and Blaze Olive does not have his teleport, and CLG first to the punch. Are they going to actually commit for it? We can't see. They're going to back away.
Ton of damage. They need. It would have to be Tuesday in there forever, and Wind isn't going to crush down Baron, right?
No.
So they actually have quite a bit of room they need to be able to take that objective. I think Golden Guardians dodged a little bullet there from losing a member. But they are back onto the map and trying to clear out as much as they can. Careful how safe they think it is, though. Wind and Phil here trying to make a play. Holy fast fingers. Sees that one coming over the wall and has a bit of time to dodge.
I think we're getting ready to spoil for a fight here, Riv. We're coming really close to the Cloud Soul point for CLG. They're going to be looking to try and find a fight. And Golden Guardians, they need to start looking for opportunities to swing on back. The big item spikes are starting to come out for CLG. We see the Void Staff completed now for Tuesday. Deus has a ton of AP between his Rabadons and the Spellbinder, the only two items that build out of that needlessly large rod. And on the other hand, Golden Guardians, they're doing what they can, but Keith does not yet have his Death's Dance, so he is still very vulnerable to the damage that's going to be coming out from Deus as he runs through the lines.
Yeah, he's close to having it.
Tuesday.
Arrow comes out. Oh, a big four-man play coming in. Damage onto CLG needs to continue to follow up. If it's just a front-end burst, it's not enough, and there is the rest of Golden Guardians to follow through. But here comes Deus. He's going to try to get onto the team. Hemo Plague only hits one, and that's going to be a Zanius from Keith. Keith definitely going down. The rest of Golden Guardians have to run, and that late TP was what they needed. But watch out for Zion Spartan now. Coming down the inside track. He's going to try to get in. No. He stops just on the edge of mid, so he's not seen. And he's looking for it. They ping out Zion. They finally see him on wards. And that's what you get from Deus TPing in immediately to be a part of the fight. He's able to push off hard now. And this is Soul for CLG here on Cloud.
What a tough spot to be in. The movement speed so impactful. Both just the innate movement speed that you get off of it. Deus is going to be so fast as he moves around. He's going to only get faster with his ultimate. And we already talked about Wind. Oh no, Zion, got to be careful. I'm going to walk away. We talked about Wind, about how he's really relying on all of this quick movement with his feet, just walking around, coming out from the Black Cleaver, the boots, and soon to be Ghost Blade. He's going to be even faster now. It's going to be even harder for the members of Golden Guardians to get on top of this. But all that said and done, when we see the replay, I want to pay a lot of attention to what Zion Spartan is doing throughout the fight, because Deus was able to show up. Zion Spartan at least had his teleport available after the fight had finished, so I wonder if he could have potentially participated, because all I saw was ultimate that barely didn't snipe out Tuesday.
Looks like we could be getting 5 games here, Joshi. Topside getting pressure to Blaze Olive is not having a good game on this Akali right now. 0-3-0. He can see what he's having to fight here as Wind comes up to help the team. He's going to mask them for a moment. Everyone's blind with that smoke screen. The follow-up damage is huge from Golden Guardians, but the trade is good. The rebuttal is good from CLG. Their counter logic is coming through strong as the Sun Disc comes out. Tuesday tries to set up base just outside here in top lane, and CLG are able to live. Phil walks out with a sliver of health. I cannot believe how they're staying alive, but Golden Guardians able to gain a bit of ground here as Deus was mid lane for that fight.
Yeah, movement speed is coming out really big. They're able to move in and out of these fights. And oh no, a teleport comes through. Here's Tuesday.
This is the counter logic gaming we remember from the beginning of the split. Never stopping, never ending, always fighting. Even if you're coming from the fountain, immediately back to the plate, swinging for the fences. And counter logic gaming are on to Baron here after a very extended fight. They lose this and top lane is pushed. That's bad. CLG has to win this. They have to get out safe, and they have to get a few members out with it. And it looks like that's the case. CLG looking to bring us to a Game 5.
Yeah, Blaze Olive wasn't able to get back in. He had to back away. He had to look to potentially teleport in, but there was no time. And now this is looking like CLG, again, playing a very, very stable game, a very focused game where they're always there first. Deus, again, having a fantastic performance this game, and it's going to be enough to potentially get them through to the end. And again, a big difference comes through in the mid lane, right? We're talking about the jungle matchup. We were looking at Hard being very focused on keeping Froggus down, and he wasn't able to do that this game. We saw that giving the priority over to Tuesday was enough. It was important that Hard wasn't able to move into his opponent's side of the jungle, and now Golden Guardians have to look for some kind of pick, but it's so difficult. These guys are so fast, and they have so many tools to move around that Wind doesn't even feel like he needs the Inwards Ghost Blade. He's taking the extra damage from the Dust Blade.
Yeah.
Again.
Oh, they're fighting again in mid lane. 4 members of Golden Guardians here. Both the top laners have to run to this fight. They are doing so ever so quickly. Zion Spartans there. Fraggus is going to meet a 2v1 situation as now it's Deus in a 1v1 with the Blaze Olive. Fraggus almost going down, gets a last shot in and not enough heal from Wind, and he goes down. That's 3 for CLG in the mid lane though, as the scattered fight is a win for Counter Logic Gaming.
And this might just be the game. 30 seconds on everyone from Golden Guardians. They're walking in the minions. They have the Azir. They do a ton of damage to these structures. But it looks like they are still very wary of a Blaze Olive. And if he can buy a little bit of time, if he can start cutting the minions, this game might prolong. But Phil doing a good job chasing him away. We still got 10 seconds left before anybody comes back up. Hard and Chime, the first ones available. And a Blaze Olive buying what time he can.
Counter Logic Gaming and Golden Guardians going back and forth, punch for punch, game for game here in their best of 5 series. The 4th and 5th seed are going to a Game 5.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. We've been at this for a while, and it keeps coming back. We've been seeing both teams. We said this is going to be a battle of styles between the two teams, and once again, CLG, they win the games that they play they want to. Golden Guardians, they're winning the games that they play they want to. And it's all going to come down to a single final game to see which one of them is actually able to exert their will on this playoff series. I can't wait.
It really will. You know, it takes so long to get back to best of 5s here as we look at the team comp and just reminiscing about, you forget what can happen. Even when you see a game like Game 1 from Golden Guardians, where you're like, wow. Yeah, it was the Tryndamere, and yeah, you know that's not going to be kind of a thing that's going to happen throughout the rest of the series, but that kind of momentum, how does CLG come back? Well, they do. But then Golden Guardians comes right the back and forth. You forget these can happen. The best of 5s always feel so good. And the team comp, again, that we're able to see happen from GGA finally loses. The Graves, the Thresh, the Ashe comp has been thwarted by Counter Logic Gaming. So they find a way around that. And we'll flow right into the highlights here, Joshi. Fraggus has the game that he wanted on this Vi. He was able to stand out, and he was able to shut down Hard on that Graves.
Yeah, we see a lot of these skirmishes go through, but it's just so difficult for Zion, Spartan, and the rest of the team to find the targets that they need. Dave stays so healthy for such a long time in these team fights. And look at this, like, Blaze Olive is over in the middle of the backline, but Zion, Spartan, and Hard are so far away. Again, Blaze Olive gets a little bit baited here and is not able to actually take down the targets that he needs to. So I'm curious. I don't expect to see Akali again. I like the confidence that it takes to pick this champion in a Game 4, but you need the priority, I think, in the mid lane. We touched on the fact that he wants to have the power to actually support his jungler, and he had no power to support his jungler whatsoever in this game. and it ended up coming back to bite them because Frog is on a very comfortable pick, able to control basically every lane.
Yeah, we fast forward to 26 minutes here to that Soul fight. The fight before the Soul, everything about it. Oh my word, just CLG able to absorb so much in these fights and then still have a way in after it looks like it's over.
Yeah, I mean, we saw a number of arrows landing on to Tuesday in particular. He was getting caught a little bit, but it just didn't matter because the rest of his team was strong enough to support him. He was still able to throw down the Emperor's Divide and stay alive through a lot of these team fights. And unfortunately for Golden Guardians, that just can't happen. You can't allow this triple threat composition to let one of their threats survive. He's going to continue getting gold. He's not going to be kept down, and he's going to continue pumping out damage. So Golden Guardians need to figure out what to do to fix that, potentially a little bit stronger engage tools, because they were missing out on that pretty heavily in this game. And if they can find the team fights or the split, they can play however they want.
Yeah, absolutely. And we fast forward one more time all the way to that last fight to see how it happened, how we're going to a game 5 here. CounterLogic Gaming just feeling the engages, standing out in the open, and even from the fog of war, Golden Guardians couldn't find that mark.
Yeah, I mean, you saw Tuesday got hit by an arrow at the beginning of his play, and it just didn't matter. He's able to create enough space. There's not enough damage coming out from the members of Golden Guardians, and you saw Zion Spartan wasn't there in time. He tried to throw out the ultimate, tried to run down the mid lane, but it wasn't enough. They needed the burst damage to zone out the Sen in the Azir, and they just could not find it.
So looking at these, we've seen the Vlad ban. I think we saw the Wukong ban. I think Mord's the only thing we haven't seen ban that's still aggressive. Otherwise, I think we're getting some tanks here in the top lane in the last game, Joshi, which makes me sad. I hope they find a way around that, but I hope both teams continue to play as aggressive as they are. Our final game can usually get that play to not lose mentality, but I think with both teams firing on all cylinders here, we're going to get a good game. Right now, we're going to step away for a quick break, but when we come back, it is the final game 5 in this best of 5 series between CounterLogic Gaming Academy and Golden Guardians Academy. Don't go anywhere.